See if you can name this tune. First person to name this tune gets respect. No one? Okay.
Not that we can see. Having said that, the chat's a little bit behind us. Right. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Disney pals, and welcome to another...
Just making sure we're all right.
Oh, we're good. And welcome to another Disneyland Paris show. It is just the rain household today. Unfortunately, Chris is feeling a bit under the weather. He didn't want to drive from the other wing, and we didn't want to, catch anything. And we just wish him full recovery. It does mean if you're watching for the first time, we've been following in the chat that some people you don't get the full bells and whistles show today, but we are hoping we can do you proud nonetheless. Are we going to go straight into the news like we normally would, or are we just going to waffle a bit because we don't have the jingle?
Let's go into the news. I'll ding us in.
Okay.
You get that up there.
Okay.
No one guessed that song in the chat.
I didn't know that song. Maybe I did. Did I? Did I know that song?
Wow. Okay, here is the news. Halloween.
Heartstoppers visit DLP.
Extended launch hours end at Avengers Campus.
Swiss Family Robinson tree houses reopen. Tree house? House. Singular.
Yeah, it wasn't I Love You, Conan and Amelia. It was Hard Day's Night.
Oh, I was going all Disney minded.
You can guess it by the first note, which is...
All right. That was not where the direction my brain was going down, though. I was going down Main Street. You were going down Abbey Road.
There's a Beatles documentary on Disney Plus. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point. Right.
Yeah, we've decorated it today. We do have a really nice spiderweb tablecloth that I was going to put up. But I can't find it, so we're using some of Bonnie's bed sheets. But it looks all right, doesn't it? Everyone's praising your jumper, Lucy, but I'm not getting much love for my Hollywood Monsters jumper.
We keep
Universal.
Very strict Halloween time in this household. We don't go by American Disney time, as in Disney World, as in start and middle of August. We go by Disneyland Paris Halloween time, which means the 1st of August,
October.
Halloween. The 1st of October, boom, Halloween every year. And so what did we do today?
Well, we picked some pumpkins.
We're going to show you some more of those later.
Yeah, that's just a teaser.
Before we get too many people in the chat, should we do a little who's all aboard?
Yeah. Oh, I don't have my whistle.
Can you?
It's over there. All aboard, please. The Dunn family were the first in the chat again. They're making a habit of this.
Yeah.
Just showing off at this stage, I think. We've got Faye's here. I said that weird. Faye is here. Elle's here. Jeffrey, John, Scottish Claire, Daisy, Joanne, who's in DLP at the moment. She's just had dinner at Ratatouille. Chez Remy.
Gels.
Kiva's here. Natalie, Philippa, Crabbit Scruffs. Who is Nate? Question mark.
Philippa's saying she'd finally paid enough attention to the time to be there to not miss another live show. We're glad you're here, Philippa.
We got 2/3 of the crew. David's here. Wits Wanderlust, Cheryl, Dougie Plays, George, Fix It Fox, Sarah, Con and Amelia, Maria, Guy, and Cheryl. Guy, hold on, because Guy brought up the thing about allergies last week, didn't he? I think that's right. But we've got some follow-up for that, guys, so stay tuned, because it's not all rosy, it seems.
Yeah, we've had information, we've had trip reports. I will just say as well, because we are Chrisless, Chris is our very clever tech guy, and we don't have his full setup. So usually we can read the chat and look at you at the same time. But today the chat is on my iPad down here. And
some of it's here as well.
It is, but it disappears very quickly.
It does too
doesn't
quickly.
it? Too quick.
Yeah, so with a quick glancing down, that's why.
So, hey, look, let's talk DLP.
Let's.
Because the first issue of news today is it's Halloween. I know we talked about it a lot last week, but it is actually.
It's Halloween, everybody.
Me and Bonnie had a Halloween themed bath last night, which basically means that Bonnie has a bath and I put on a Halloween playlist, and that was the first one on.
Carefully curated playlist that I've been making over the years. That she's probably growing out of a bit now, but even if
she loves it.
Even if she grows out of it, I'll always listen to it. But yeah, it's on my channel, Hugh Rain, and there's a Halloween playlist, and it's got some Disney ones on there, lots of Muppets, and just some fun Halloween kids songs.
Daft things.
Yeah.
So we have never been. Full disclosure, we have never been to Disneyland Paris during Halloween. It is a shorter season than in the American parks. It is only 1 month. It is massively on our bucket list to the point that I'm fairly certain we will go Halloween 2023. It's too late for us to book a trip now.
I think we will.
Think we will. If you've been keeping up with my life, I've just gone back to university and was waiting for my university timetable before I booked a trip, and now it's pretty much too late to book a Halloween trip. We'll see what else happens next time. So we live vicariously through you and your trip reports and your photos and all the lovely people that we follow on Twitter. And by gumbo, there has been a lot this week. It's only been 2 days so far, but Halloween is in full swing. Would you like to know some of the things that are going on?
Hi, Aaron. Go on.
Is Aaron going on?
No, he's here.
Okay. Hi, Aaron.
They are here. They're here.
First off.
Sorry. And let's start with this one. Right, I'm done.
Loads of really, really good meats, which you would expect for Halloween, but they've really seemed to have upped the game this year. Remember, last year we were still in the smelly tail end of COVID, the slipstream of COVID, so to speak. So things are still a bit toned down. Well, we've got Jack over by Haunted Mansion, obvs. We've got, I'm going to use the French word, tick and tack. We've got Chip and Dale in capes and masks at the gazebo, and they look so cute. I've never seen that costume before. Might be wrong, don't think they've done it. Goofy has got a whole big setup in the studios with like a sweet factory next to him. And he's got this big lurid, like orange Willy Wonka outfit on, I suppose is the only way I'd describe it. We love a goof meet. And then over at the castle stage, you've got meet and greets that are sort of introduced with dance routines. Seen some videos of Cruella and Maleficent and Gaston coming out. The magic mirror does a thing, and they come out, they do a little parade, a little bit of dance routine, and then they separate into 3 different meet and greets. So that looks super, super fun. And that's just the tip of the iceberg with what I'm talking about. You have got loads of meet and greets there. If you are there going, which I know a lot of you are because you're all coming up in the chat to tell us, make sure you do some of these Halloween exclusive meet and greets for us and send us some photos. We love it. We love to see it.
Let's start with this one's going for Halloween. Oh, sorry, no. Dreaming of going.
Oh, dreaming. Yeah, us too. You've got the Halloween celebration show stops in Central Plaza. So this is a thing now. I mean, I say it's a thing now. It's been a thing for about 5 or 6 years now, where the seasonal parades stop in the plaza and get on the plaza stages and do a little show. The first one we saw do that was Princess and Pirates. But it seems a pretty standard fare now that this is how they operate it. But it looked particularly good. Daisy was shaking her thing.
Shaking the tail feather.
She was shaking her tail feather. You've just got, I don't know, was it my imagination? But the dancers just seemed to be giving it so much more welly. There was a real kind of, and of course the videos I was watching were from the first day of it as well. That looks amazing. So catch that. I would reckon they're still running the 30th one. They've stopped running the main parade, haven't they, till after Christmas now, I think.
I don't know.
Yes,
I'm going to say yes.
So make sure you look at the times guide and watch that Halloween parade. And I'm going to recommend you watch it from the hub, which I don't always recommend for parades. But if they've got show stops, so worth it. So worth it. And then you've got Nightfall with the Disney villains, which is a projection mapping pre-show up on the castle. I'm just going to sound like a broken record by saying, and it looks absolutely amazing, just like everything else does. But I kind of like these pre-shows. We caught the 30th one, didn't we, with the drones when we were there last month, and then left.
Yeah.
to
While
meet
the getting was good.
Because we've already seen Illuminations, you see, and it's a very good nighttime show. I don't think it's the best Disney nighttime show. It's a good one, but the 30th celebration one was amazing. So we watched that, and then bet the crowds out of under the station, and I watched a video of the nighttime with Disney villains one, and it really did look powerful. Very, very powerful animations up on the castle.
Sarah says if anyone's there at the moment, she's got the 37 Disney Street stickers on her backpack, so come and say hi.
Oh, can you get a photo of that as well? Get a little Instagram of you going like that with these stickers. That's the exact pose, by the way. Hugh replicated that under the you saw someone else take.
Yeah, I was a bit rude actually. Someone was taking, one of those sort of Instagram pictures where they were going under the bridge and this castle in the distance, and they were doing that thing where they were just facing backwards and just turning over the shoulder. It was all about...
like it was spontaneous
moments. Yeah, it's all about showing off your bum and just being like, look at me, I'm having a wonderful time. So I did one next to them. They didn't see me doing it.
No, you were on like the other sort of corridor, weren't you?
Yeah. But I stuck my bum out to kind of imitate what they were doing.
Do you know what? This is universal in Disney parks. I don't care which continent you're on. If you stand in the hub and just watch the 15 to 22-year-old girls and their friends in the hub taking Instagram.
You might not want to do that if you're, we just,
Yeah, okay. Not in a perfect way. But it's just, I find it absolutely fascinating. Not being on Instagram myself particularly. I've got an account, I'm never on there. And not being a selfie taker. When you just see the process and they get the friends to do it. They've got very specific things. Maybe they're holding something, or maybe they're trying to do something through a hand, or they do that thing where they hold hands and then have the hand in the foreground and all that stuff. But they do it and they smile and they flick and they look absolutely joyous. And then they immediately break the pose and take the phone off the friend and check.
Face drops.
Boom. Is it any good? And they go, oh no, there's one too many crow's feet in that, do that again. And it's a really fascinating process. Maybe you're one of those people, be honest.
People watching in general is just fun to do at the parks, looking at people's outfits and things.
That's why if I could have a superhero power, it would be invisibility. I've thought about this at length. I would. Is that weird?
Yeah, no.
Is that creepy?
There's a psychological, well, in this context, yes. But there's a psychological thing where, you just ask, would you rather have the power of flight or invisibility? And I'm sorry, but anyone who says flight hasn't thought it through. Because there's so much more you can do if you're invisible. So much more. Of the things you could do.
Oh, the places you'd go.
The free shows you could see.
Yes.
But flying, most of the time it's cold anyway. It'd be fun for a little bit, but then, I think the novelty would wear off. But being invisible, you can get lots done.
Absolutely. I want to know if anyone in the chat's going to admit to being one of those hair flicking, hand holding Instagrammers. It's fine if you are. You do very nice photos.
Benjamin says, hi, have I missed much? You haven't, Benjamin. But you haven't seen Lucy's cup yet. We've got some Halloween. They're not tiki cups. They're just cups. But yeah, that's what we're rocking today. We've gone full Halloween. Here's another gourd. We're going to build up to these special ones, but this is just a nice little white one. That's
going to be the ghost gourd.
Yeah.
Oh, right. What else have I got to? Oh, we've got to food. So they've done all right. Disneyland Paris, if you've been following us for a while, you know that the quality of themed food used to be a bit of a chagrin for us. And every season, they seem to be getting a little bit better and more adventurous. So you've got lots of black burgers going on. They do like to do this. They do this for Star Wars. They do it for Halloween. They do it for Avengers.
Yeah, you can get.
When I say black burgers, if you're not sure, it's a bread. They make black bread buns.
A black bun. I had the black. What were they? The jalapeno bites. The jalapeno.
Yes. Yeah.
Chili bites anyway.
Like cheese bites.
Mustafa jalapeno bites, and they were so black. They looked like they'd just been like destroyed in an oven, but they were good.
They look like lumps of coal.
Yeah.
But there's a few places, Lucky Nugget for one, Hyperion for another, you'll get these evil burgers, which are just made in black buns, but they do look very cool. You know, if you're a kid going for your one and only Disney trip and it's Halloween and you're eating this evil burger, they do look good. But then we've got some good sort of desserts going on. You've got the Maleficent Sundae at the Lucky Nugget, which is kind of a purple soft serve with black syrup over it. I did read this. It's like pistachio something, and it tells you, but it looks really cool. You've also got the Witch's Apple, which is a red sort of molded mousse, apple flavored mousse on an almond biscuit with a little thing on the top. That's from Hyperion. They look really good. You've got
Aaron's asking, because we're going to come on to allergies and things later, but Aaron's asking, anyone know what they use to make the burger buns, etc. black?
Witch's tears.
Well, because they say that, just aware that if it's charcoal, it can absorb medication, so probably not the best idea. I'm not sure what it would be. Be interesting to know, wouldn't it?
Apparently, Sam for God tried them on her Insta stories and they dyed her face and hands black. Oh, that's fun for parents. Take some baby wipes. Yeah, the apple looks fantastic, David. I really like the look of that. I would be beelining for that, and I'm not a big Hyperion goer. Nothing wrong with the Hyperion, but I don't think it's the most interesting place to eat in Disneyland Paris, but that would get me to the Hyperion. Cobweb cornet, which is like orange soft serve with a chocolate cobweb stuck in it, but little things like that do look very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, we were at the pumpkin place today. We went into the farm shop, and there was ice creams, Halloween themed ice creams. There was a skull one, and I think there was a mummy one. But then there was one that was it was two witches' legs sticking out, two plastic witches' legs just sticking out of the ice cream. But and it had stars in it and things. But the ice cream was licorice and blackcurrant, which is my two favourite ingredients almost, and or the two of my favourite. And I just regret not getting it. We just had a big lunch.
I just want to address Philippa's question. She says, I have a booking dilemma. Do I go to DLP next September while my son is 2, or wait till October to go at Halloween, but he'll be 3? I would go when he was 2 in September. For starters, September is one of the cheapest months. It's quiet, the weather's still good, and it will be cheap because of your son. And those are 4 reasons to go. Now, Halloween, go when he's 5. Because you'll be paying the same price for him if he's 3 or he's 5 or he's 7. So you may as well, if you're going to pay for him, you may as well do September while he's 2 and then go again in a few years. That's my thinking. But I'm just a Disney addict, so I'm going to go loads of times. But I think it's an opportunity to go when he's still 2.
Philippa says, but Halloween.
I know. Save it. You'll want to go back. And also, go when there's no season on, and I don't think there's any season. There's something serious going on here, guys. I think that's Halloween happening with my hair. Go when there's no season on first, and you'll think, oh my God, this is the most magical place on the earth. How can anything improve this magical, fantastic environment? I love it. And then go back the year after when it's Halloween, and you'll think, oh my God, it's even better than last time, is my thinking. So start at the base level. Other people talk her out of it. I don't know. That's my opinion. Does everyone else agree? David says, go without your son. There's an option.
It's an option.
It's an option. I keep saying that to you, but you won't have it. I mean, we don't have a son.
I just can't imagine, like, because we wouldn't lie.
No.
Saying, oh, we're going to Disneyland. I'm just whispering, I guess, without you. Because she'd take it so personally, and I think she'd be right to. No, it's not going to happen.
No, we wouldn't. Yeah.
Here's a green one.
Oh.
Anyone who's listening, we're just holding up pumpkins.
Right. I think that's the end.
The next two are the best.
Oh, there's a Mummy Mickey Pop as well, which is like it's a waffle on a stick covered in chocolate with like stripes of bandages on and stuff. It looks good. I would buy that. I would definitely buy that.
I'm all for it.
Thing is, they've also got the coffin shortbread with Nutella in it.
Yes.
But that...
You say the...
No, well...
because it's standard to get shortbread and Nutella.
Does it matter what shape it is? They've got a biscuit with Nutella in it that is a shape according to the season, which is what they always have. Now, which one could you not get when we were there in last month?
The Boba Fett shortbread.
They've done it for the Lion King.
Made me very cross.
And things.
And I can never get a Bagheera mango shortbread. That's also black with orange filling.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, whenever they bring out these biscuits, I think halfway through the season there is a very good chance that they'll sell out of that and then substitute it with one from another season. They'll just wheel out the Bagheera one or the Star Wars one or whatever. But for now, you've got coffin shaped biscuits. Right, next bit of news, Huey. Heartstoppers went to Disneyland Paris. Exactly. Well, apparently this is a big thing because it was all over my Twitter feed and everyone was dead excited. There's a new Netflix program called Heartstoppers. The only reason I know about this is because I like bookshops, and whenever I go in Waterstones and WH Smith, they've got copies of Heartstoppers in the front window at the moment, and it's a comic book, and they've made a Netflix out of it. Anyway, apparently it's massive and everyone loves it because 3 of the stars were there. 2 of the stars, Charlie Spring and Nick Nelson, were at Disneyland Paris taking photos. And Aaron knows it.
Aaron's read it. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one of those things that if you know what that is...
And Ben Hope.
If you know what that is, it's probably really, really, really exciting. And if you don't know what that is, it probably means nothing to you.
Just go back. There are some suggestions to Philippa to go right at the end of September because you start to get the Halloween decorations then. But her son will already be 3 by that point.
David's daughter's had on Mad on Heartstopper.
I remember when it was just a Tumblr thing.
It's a Tumblr thing. But yeah, I haven't picked the books up or flicked through them, I'll be honest. I'm just aware it's a thing because it seems to be right at the front of all the bookshops.
There's certain things that we are too old for, but there's going to be a time in about 2 or 3 years when Bonnie's going to be into like a lot of modern music, and we're gonna by osmosis get into it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have ever watched Descendants.
I was going to say we got really into Descendants, didn't we?
Yeah. Don't you want to be evil like me? Don't you want to be cool?
It's a good Halloween show, is Descendants. I might suggest she brings that back for breakfast. We have a breakfast watch. It's Bluey at the moment. Right, so that was a quick one, but I thought there might be somebody out there who got really excited about that, even if we didn't, because we didn't know. Extended launch hours at Avengers Campus have ended. This is just kind of housekeeping, really. Since it's opened at Avengers Campus, they've been staying open an hour, and I think maybe sometimes 2 hours later during the summer than the rest of the studios, just to absorb some of the crowds and stuff. But as Halloween started, that stopped. We knew it had to stop eventually, and I think that's good timing on the part of management, because they never wants to come to a point where you go, oh yeah, it's not as popular anymore. But there has to come a point where the demand dies out. So this is really just, you need to know that if you're going in the next few weeks, that now it just aligns with the studio closing. You don't get any extra hours. That was a fun one.
Wits Wanderlust says Bluey forever. Have you noticed when you watch it, Wits Wanderlust, that whenever there's a slow zoom in on one of the characters, there's something about that and the music swelling. It gets you every time. Yeah. Still no Baloo or there's no Baloo either, or Bagheera shortbread, says Joanne. She's she's on the ground. She's in the field at the moment, and no Bagheera. One day I'll get one of those. I'll just make one. I'm sure I can whip up. I can do a shortbread easily.
I know, but it's a very specific cookie cutter print, isn't it?
Come on.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Speaking of which, we've got some really good Halloween cookie cutters We should make something if any of us had time.
I bet we don't.
No, I bet we don't.
Too busy.
Last thing, and it's only a little one, and then we've got things to show. Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse reopens. Now, you know, typically I don't kind of follow every closing and reopening and stuff because they're constantly refurbing stuff.
We were walking past and then it was all closed off. 2 months ago.
But there was a bit of debate as to what they were doing because I know in California they're up to something and they hadn't advertised very well for this when it was going to close and open. But it's reopened and all they were doing was nets. There's a lot more nets, you know, because there's like areas where things can fall and people drop plushes and stuff.
Right.
So there's just a lot more nets. So that answers that question. It's not exciting, but because we had a debate a few weeks ago, I thought I'd let you know.
My mum's called Annette. Cheers. Joanne says, so no, it's Claire. It'd be brilliant if it would be anything like your R2-D2 creation. We did an R2-D2 banana and Kit Kats thing on our charity live stream, and it was terrible. But just to try and save some face, Claire, and all the rest of you, go on Instagram and look at the hashtag Hugh Rain Biscuits. And you can see what I'm capable of. That's Rain with an E on the end. R-A-I-N-E. Hugh Rain Biscuits hashtag.
He is very good at biscuits.
I'm all right.
It's his thing.
I'm all right.
He should be on Bake Off.
No.
But he could make a creme pat.
I could do Biscuit Week, but I'd have to spend a year learning how to make bread and stuff. I couldn't go on Bake Off, and not a chance. Not with my 4 biscuit recipes.
I'll tell you why else he couldn't go on Bake Off.
Too cynical.
He wouldn't stand in the garden going, "Oh, this bit means the world to me."
No, if they said to me, "So, what was it like to get a Paul Hollywood handshake?" I'd shrug and I wouldn't play the game. I'd go, "It's all right. It's a handshake, isn't it? I appreciate it, but you know, I'm not going to go crying about it." So that's why I wouldn't go on. In fact, I'd only get on if I lied all the way through the auditions and pretended to be enthusiastic.
Yeah, positive, enthusiastic person. Oh, fun times. Right.
I'm fun, but on my own terms.
Yes.
That's the deal. Here's another pumpkin.
Oh my goodness, you're going straight to him.
It's brown. Well, I think this one's the real stuff.
Yeah, fine.
This one down here. But this is actually brown. I don't know if that's coming across. It's not orange. It's brown with like these yellow warts all over it, and it's crazy looking. See, a lot of these we're not going to carve. We just like to display them. So I might just get a cheap orange one, you know, towards Halloween and carve that instead. Yeah, we haven't washed them yet. They're making mud.
Leaving mud I'm just moving things because mud keeps falling off them. We go to a pumpkin picking place where you get them off the ground, but it does mean that they're all filthy. Right. You're in charge of trip reports and things, Huey, this week.
Yeah. Well, Chris still has a backlog of trip reports to read out, but I thought this one was a bit more time sensitive because we talked about this last week. So Natalie, who's in the chat today, well, first of all, she sent a message basically saying she just listened to the show, and when she went with her daughter recently, it was terrible, and her thinking is that's more like it's just Europe in general. They don't seem as prepared. Like, you know, I still stand, because last week we were kind of naively saying, "Oh, it's Disneyland. I'm sure you'll be fine." You know, they're going to be very careful. Turns out, apparently, DLP not so much. I still reckon that Disney World,
they're outstanding.
Will really look after you, but I think there's still a lot of learning to be done at DLP. So Natalie sent us a trip report. It's quite long, so I'm gonna do some highlights for you. Yeah. So she says her daughter's almost 3 and is allergic to dairy, egg, and soya. They did half board breakfast at Newport Bay Club and then dinners at downtown Auberge de Cendrillon, Bistro de Chez Remy, and Plaza Gardens. Overall, it was pretty poor for her, and I felt disappointed. Reviews for each location below, so I'll give you the highlights. So downtown starts off well. It's 8 out of 10 here. The check-in host was good. Brought us the allergy menu. Introduced them to the chefs. She ate plain pasta, bolognese sauce, specially made vegan cheese pizza, cooked salmon, sliced potatoes, chicken wings, corn on the cob. But then, and this is common, no desserts really suitable other than fruit salad. And, you know, a lot of children, you're lucky if you, like, we know people with kids who will eat anything, and we're so jealous. And
Bonnie wouldn't eat a fruit salad.
no, and it's probably, you know, fault on our part as well, isn't it? Because you kind of, there's certain things like I've never made a sweet corn for her because I wouldn't touch sweet corn in a million years, so I've never thought to offer her a sweet corn. So, you know, things like that. But so that was not a bad start. Just a bit of a, you know, not a lot of choice is what the theme is.
I think that seems like a very good choice of main meals though, for a buffet. That seems quite good and also well considered if you're bringing chefs out.
The chefs coming out, that's great. Now, Auberge de Cendrillon doesn't have a rating because she didn't really eat. There's nothing really suitable, so she didn't really eat there. So it's hard to rate. You know, there were options, but it was like, well, she got smoked salmon. I mean, can you imagine getting our child to eat smoked salmon? But luckily, Natalie's child loves a bit of smoked salmon. So, or was it cooked salmon? She was eating salmon at some point anyway, but she didn't eat the smoked salmon. Maybe the smoked salmon she didn't eat. It's cooked salmon. So no ranking as no food eaten. But I mean, at this point, you kind of fall back on your experience, and Natalie was taking her own snacks and things, and it's a shame to have to do that. But you know, you're probably going to just roll your eyes and go, "Well, this again. We're used to this. You know, we know what to do." So I think the key is, even though it's Disney and you'd think you'd be sorted, just keep in mind, be prepared, do what you usually do probably when you go out, and just have something.
I mean, to be fair, Bonnie's not allergic to anything, but she's a very fussy kid. And I've gone places like Disney with cereal bars in my bag just because I don't want her to starve, and she's so picky. There's loads of families that say this. This is not unique to toddlers, is it? But when you have an allergy, there's an extra level there of sort of danger and stress, isn't there?
Yeah. Chez Remy, 5 out of 10. Mostly because didn't really want the pate. I mean, you know, I wouldn't have the pate.
Maybe French kids
But,
eat
you know,
pate
like,
and
they
things.
do, yeah. It's different cultures, isn't it? Main course, she had linguine pasta with red sauce and ratatouille, and she did enjoy that. They chopped up the ratatouille down into a pasta and mixed it in, so she was happy. She likes veg, so got away with that. Again, dessert let down. There was only fruit salad, which they knew she wouldn't eat. So the problem here is the price you're paying, and at the end of it, the child didn't eat much other than a main for €22. So 5 out of 10 for that one. Plaza Gardens. What's the rating on Plaza Gardens? 6 out of 10. Now this was bread was an issue here, says Natalie. So they were about to tuck into the bread, and then the chef came running over and took it off her as a package and said it may contain, I think it was gluten. May contain something, anyway. And then all hell broke loose, says Natalie. Lots of crying and tears. Everyone staring, staff coming over to check on the small banshee next to me. The chefs told the staff she was crying as she hadn't seen the characters, even though that was totally untrue.
Oh.
So, you know, a bit of an awkward situation where the chefs are going, "Oh, it's this reason. It's not because of us, but it was because of them." But they did come back later with a little paper hat and a free pen to apologise. You know, this is the theme here: is they seem to be trying, but they're not very good. The kind of trying, but it's not Disney really, is it? It's not the level you'd expect. And then also a lot of utensil swapping in front of the kitchen staff. So you know, possible cross contamination, which isn't an issue for them, but something. You know, she's a flag flyer for allergies in general, she says. Yeah. So no desserts again, fruit salad again, and raspberry coulis. So 6 out of 10 there. Breakfast at Newport, 3 out of 10. Really limited breakfasts. She had potatoes, baked beans, and smoked salmon. I should have smoked salmon. I was getting mixed up earlier. She constantly stank of smoked fish. They offered us crackers and pre-packed goods, but they were rank. She would not have eaten them. Again, she's reiterating, if you've got allergies, take your own stuff. We did Cheerios and oat milk from home in the room before we went down. Didn't ask for milk alternatives as our daughter would only have Oatly Barista, so didn't bother asking there. 3 out of 10 for that one. Chateau de Marinette, 9 out of 10. Now you think that fast food place wouldn't be so great, would it? But great quick service. We love it now, don't we?
We do.
Cashier was very helpful. Gave them the allergen menu, sorted easily. She had half chicken chips, suitable drink, and dessert included. Dessert options not suitable, so we ate the mini magnum instead. I think they ate the mini magnum. They ate the kids mini magnum. So 9 out of 10. That's not bad. Cowboy cookout 8 out of 10. Again, good quick service option. Same chicken as Chateau, but she also could have the ribs and the sausage. So she had the cowboy platter, and she loved the chicken and ribs. Didn't like the sausage very much, but still ate it. Dessert was no good here either. 8 out of 10. So just to summarise, she says, overall, I was disappointed with the allergy offering at Disneyland Paris, but more with the attitude from the cast members. Meals were the only bad cast interactions that they had. So everything else was fine. It's just when it came to the meals, the whole 5 days that they were there, it's like they've never heard of allergies before or had the appropriate training. So they're surprised that on each restaurant has one single paper allergen menu, so they weren't allowed to keep it. Which,
that is strange post-COVID as well. That's very strange because we all got used to QRs and disposable menus and things, didn't we? Now, when we did our live, this is a live show, when we did our charity live stream, we did a little question, if you were Bob Chapek for a day, what would you do? And I said I would ring up the Disneyland Paris management and say you need to hire a new systems manager for the food and beverage locations. They just need to sort out the staff training, the queuing systems, how they prepare coffee. It's a bit of a lackadaisical mess. And I think this would fall under that. Now, we have a Disneyland Paris podcast. We think it is just the most magical, wonderful place. And the cast members are part of that. We think they're amazing. But there's something going on with the training and the food and beverage side that just isn't quite, I won't even say up to Disney standards. I would say up to UK McDonald's standards. To be honest, they just haven't quite got systems in place to work with things. I mean, just think of like your average chain restaurant, like, I don't know, a Prezzo or a, Pizza Express or something. They have such clear systems for these kind of things, like real standardized systems. And the weird thing about Disneyland Paris, for somewhere that's so contained, is it seems so random, doesn't it? As to which restaurants do and don't and how they cope with it. And
sometimes it's just down to, like we go to the same restaurant all the time, and sometimes you can have a great time, sometimes you have a bad time, and sometimes it's just down to one server who's had the same training as everyone else, but just isn't that bothered to be helping out. I just want to reassure you all, and this is important, that with all that said, says Natalie, my daughter had an amazing time and she loved it, and that was a relief when I read that, Natalie, because I was reading this thinking, as a father of a little girl, I was reading this as if it was Bonnie, and I just felt so bad. But she had an amazing time. She's a real foodie and loves trying new food and eating out, but she revelled in the chance to live on snacks and smoked salmon for a week. We kept the magic for her by being prepared with loads of food from home, but it didn't feel like I could switch off from vigilant food mum at any time.
Go on.
Thanks for sending that, Natalie, because I think I was a bit. We were a bit naive last week because I just thought, I'm sure we were saying it'll be fine. It's Disney, it'll be fine. Maybe.
And I think also because we've gone to Walt Disney World as well, and we've seen firsthand, like I say, the people coming out with different coloured gloves and that kind of thing. So, but obviously, it hasn't gone transatlantic. Oh no.
Yeah, but if anyone's had a really positive experience, similarly, we're always interested in all viewpoints for balance, because you could have had a really unlucky time for 5 days along, but some people might say, well, we had the same and it was incredible.
I think it's
doesn't sound likely though, does it?
There's not much that can truly completely ruin a Disney holiday, because there's so much magic and fun to be had. And I think hearing stuff like that is useful, because you go, all right then, we will have a packet of Pom Bears in our bag or whatever.
Gluten free.
And that could change the day for you, couldn't it? So I hope that that's been helpful for someone, that it might just prepare you. And don't be too disappointed if they don't immediately work to your request, and just have a backup if they do. And then you can forget about it and go and enjoy Dumbo. I will just say, with being the parent of a kid not eating, the first time we went to Walt Disney World, Bonnie was in hospital the night before we flew, wasn't she?
Because just too excited.
Well, she had a really, really high fever. And we got to the airport and she was deemed not fit to fly. And it was the airport staff that called an ambulance. And we were like, just she's fine. Give her Calpol, she's fine. But she was absolutely.
Well,
we did take it seriously.
Yeah, we did go, she's fine. We're going to Disney World. Come on.
Yeah. And then there's a whole thing. We had to drive through the night to get to a London airport from Manchester. And it was just awful. Anyway,
it was a nightmare. There's so many things. It
was the worst 24 hours of my life.
Every single stage, everything we had to do was like, I can't believe we got there.
It was just awful. Anyway, so from hotel room to Disney took 24 hours and all that kind of thing. And then amazingly, she perked up on the first day and she was all right. But the thing is, she didn't eat. And by the second day at Disney, she hadn't eaten anything in 3 days.
Yeah, she was still off of food.
She hadn't had nothing to speak of for 3 days.
She had chocolate milkshake because we were sneaking her medication into it.
Yeah, we were like getting Nesquik and putting medicine in.
Yeah, she just had some weird bug, but it wasn't like a...
They thought it was tonsillitis because her tonsils were very big, but they weren't spotty, and she just has big... I don't think...
It was like just a 2-day bug, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, and it was just the height of a fever. Her fever was really high. That's why she got in hospital. Anyway, the thing is that by the second day, she hadn't eaten anything. The first thing she ate was a chicken strip from Chicken Guy. But after that, at least for the next 3 days, I let her eat anything she wanted. It's like if she expressed interest in a cookie, I'd be like, go on, eat the cookie. Because as a parent, you just want to keep the child alive. You stop caring about whether it's,
I think she had some popcorn on the first day because her first thing on the list of all the things she wanted to do when we got there, she said, I want to get some popcorn.
I think she'd seen some videos of kids eating popcorn or whatever.
And when we got it, we realised it was just pure salt popcorn because we normally have like sweet and salted. But it was pure salt. But she just happily snacked on that.
But it was genuinely like anything we could get in that child's mouth, we were grateful for. And as a result, there was no nutritional value for the first week of that holiday. It was whatever she will put in her mouth, we will let her.
She swallowed a bug at one point, and we were happy with that.
And then the second...
That set her on for a couple of hours.
Second week, we were like, do you think we ought to like go looking for some vegetables or something?
Aaron said, this is a positive experience. We had a great server at Pim Kitchen who asked us up front and gave those of us with allergies a verbal list of what we couldn't have, but it does seem like that's the minority. There was something else. Natalie's saying Natalie said it's stressful, but it's our normal life now. We are used to it. It's just a shame as we've done Walt Disney World too and had 10 out of 10 experience, which is what we expected, really, wasn't it? With allergies, yeah.
Benjamin Harris has said something. I'm not sure where you're from.
Full name, Benjamin Harris.
Benjamin Harris. I'm not sure where you're from, Benjamin. Always found the food to be the biggest letdown in DLP, which I've never understood, as French is normally very proud of its cuisine. Thing is, I know that we've got some American people in the chat, and I know we have quite a few American listeners, Australian listeners and things. I just want to say, I find the high-end food at Disneyland Paris brilliant. Okay, they do haute cuisine just as good as anywhere else in France. They've got some really good high-end food, but culturally, fast food isn't really the same thing in France as it is in the UK and in America and in Australia and things.
It's like they don't know how to do bad food.
Yeah,
well,
they don't, and they do have some crepe stands and stuff and croque stands, and this is what you might get in the centre of Paris. But generally speaking, fast food, it's just not a thing there. And same with buffet food and places like Lucky Nugget, that kind of hybrid. That's not French food. So people are like, oh, I thought French were meant to be good at food. And you're like, they are. They're better than that, basically. Now, it is a shame that they can't find a way of kind of taking that French food culture and putting it properly into the parks. But the thing is, Disney is an American product being executed by the French, and I think this is just one of those points where the culture there's a little valley between the two cultures.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people who are like foodies or French locals will go there because they want a rubbish hot dog.
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
experience.
They'll talk about it.
No,
They'll go,
I'm sure you can get rubbish hot dogs in any
Yeah.
supermarket in France, but you know, there must be some aspect of going, well, this is an American style park. Let's get some bad junk food.
Yeah. But if you go somewhere like Captain Jack's and Inventions, which isn't open at the moment because it's in the Disneyland Hotel, but places like that, you get really exquisite food, really, really good. It's just, but it's the systems, it's the service, not the food. Right. Oh, do you know what? This is just a silly thing. When I did my solo show, because the boys were rehearsing, we got talking about crochet, and there was some very enthusiastic people in the chat saying, let's start a crochet circle. I'm not bringing that back, but I just wanted to say, I was in Tesco the other day and I saw this. So I thought I would buy it. Disney Crochet. Now, the thing is, it's one of those magazines that sucks you in for like a 5-year subscription or something, then sends you little bits of kit. But what you eventually make is that blanket. And for listeners, it's like a granny square crochet blanket, but they've got Disney characters in the middle of all the squares. It looks pretty cool. I bought the first issue just to have a little squidge. I'm not going to subscribe. They know what they're doing. They're extorting you. But I'm going to try and use that picture to do something similar myself, because I think that's pretty cool, and I think I could make up most of that. Certainly those plain granny squares I can do in an evening, and then I can work out how to do Cinderella and stuff. It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Was it a year or two ago? There was a Disney dollhouse. Do you remember it? Magazine, and
yeah,
it looked incredible. It was like the best dollhouse. It was like they'd taken the house from Up and just expanded it into a huge dollhouse. And when you added it up, it would cost about, I can't remember what it was, but it was something like, for example, 700 quid by the time you'd finished it. But it was so nice, this dollhouse, that you think, oh, go on then. Yeah, I will spend that over the course of 5 years.
Yeah, you don't think that. And then they say the first issue is 99p, the second issue is 2.99, and everything after that is 9.99.
There was a brief time on adverts when they faded that bit out. I mean, it might have even just been one magazine, but normally, normally they go first issue 1.99, you know, subsequent issues 4.99. But this advert, it went first issue 1.99. No, there's issues.
Yeah, and this one as well.
What was that for?
It says like $9.99 per issue, and then in small print it goes 2 issues per month. So it's actually £20 a month, not $9.99 a month. And I'm like, no. I can make that up and buy the wool cheaper than that. So, but then also I was saying I learned to crochet because I saw a Frozen crochet kit, and then just picked it up, thought I can do that. And then it was the hardest thing in the world, and we always laugh at how bad it is. And I promised one week I would show it. So this was my first ever thing I crocheted, is a chinless Anna. Look, and her neck is too long, and her legs are different lengths. Yeah.
It does look like E.T.
And then my second thing I ever crocheted, where's else gone?
I don't know.
I've dropped. From the same kit, and I'm getting a little bit better by this point.
Wait, what?
Was Elsa, but I'm only a little bit better by that point. And then, just to point out that I did eventually get better, the third thing I crocheted was this, which I think is rather good. So clearly I improved.
What is that?
A
land girl.
A land girl, yes. And I think I've got better since then as well. I've crocheted other things. I just couldn't find them immediately when I was doing it.
You're quite the dab hand at crocheting.
I crochet all my headbands and things. I've crocheted Bonnie like
not the jumper.
Toy hammocks. No, I didn't do the jumper, but I do a lot of other things. But I even make myself laugh with this. But the first thing you crochet is the foot. And I've since found out that black wool is very hard to crochet because you can't see your stitches. And small things are very hard to crochet. And tubes are very hard to crochet. And that was the first thing I ever tried to crochet, and I nearly gave up. But thank goodness I didn't, because now it's a hobby I enjoy. We
should take these to the parks. You know, we sometimes have dolls in our videos.
Yeah.
We should take these.
I mean, bless her. I really love her as well. I'm really proud of her. Even though she's long-necked and wonky, I like her.
Now, this is the 5th and final gourd. Look at this. Listeners, if you can't see,
I like to hold it that way.
If you can't see, it's like, well, it's a white knobbly gourd with a big handle, a great big umbrella style handle, but like a lot thicker and bigger than an umbrella. And our friends picked up one of these and said it would make a good ghost, and it would actually make a good ghost, wouldn't it? Just draw a face on that. Aaron says, I'm not going to say what it looks like. I've no idea what you're talking about, Aaron. Honestly, I don't. Yeah, it's quite something to behold, is this thing, isn't it? You should probably put it away before we get taken down.
There you go. So this is going to be our little arrangement of pumpkins out of our front door.
Gonzo says, "Fix it, Fox." Yeah, it is Gonzo. It is Gonzo.
Right, there was a bit of dead air then.
Well, that's because I was considering a Gonzo voice, but I don't really do a Gonzo. What does Gonzo sound
give
like?
it a go. Give it a go.
What does he say?
He's like that, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like that.
Say the Marleys were dead to begin with.
The Marleys were dead to begin with.
That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Hurts though.
Ooh, I'm getting headache from my glasses, so I have to do that. I'll just take them off. Need them. Ooh. Right, so we've got 9 minutes left. What do you want us to talk about? I think there's been some questions that we've missed while we're chatting.
Oh, there'll be no extra magic time today, I'm afraid, because we just need Chris.
Chris does. He does.
We would be able to do it, but
he does wondrous things. He posts links to places we don't know about and things like that.
I just need like 30 seconds with him where he goes, "Oh, I normally do this," and I go, "Oh, okay." And that says, "Are we going to talk about Bob Chapek becoming an honorary Knight of the Realm?"
Oh, is he? Is that true? No.
Children are sleeping.
Is that true? Was that Charles' first action? I knew I never liked that.
14 days to Walt Disney World for Who Is It and Wits Wanderlust. 231 Philippa is going to a park. What are your numbers, guys?
Shall I tell you our numbers for Walt Disney World? We haven't got one for Paris at the moment. We will. We just, like I said, I was waiting for timetables.
Kravitz Gruff says, "Had no issues at all with food and service so far. Been in DLP 5 days so far with 2 more to go."
Oh, good.
So someone else on the ground. Wits Wanderlust says, "Lucy, your face." What was that in reference to?
To Bob Chapek being
Oh,
on
right. Not this.
Oh, no.
No, it's Bob Chapek.
Was it Bob Chapek or Bob Iger? It was Bob Iger. I thought it was Bob Iger. Chapek's not done anything yet. That's fine. We don't mind Bob Iger. He's a bit of a capitalist, but it'll be fine.
We're lovable capitalists.
133 days for us. That's not much.
No, it isn't really.
It isn't.
No. And we've got Halloween to go. We've got bonfire night. Is that a thing? It's not really. Christmas.
Do you know what
So
I'm
it's gonna
happy
fly
about? Because it's mid-February. It's Valentine's Day, actually. We're flying Valentine's Day. And
That means we don't have to do anything.
I'm not
Pressure is off.
good, as I know a lot of people aren't, with that after Christmas thing. The January and February, I tend to get a bit down. I don't like not sun shining. I find it a very tedious time of year. And I think this year, Christmas will be over, and then it'll be 6 weeks to Disney, and we'll be like, "Oh, let's get packing." So
6 weeks.
yeah,
6 hours.
come on, you know. So I'm quite excited that we're doing it that way around. Let me just give you this for some. I'll tell you what our challenge for Disney World is this time. My parents are coming with us.
That's the challenge.
Yeah, they're really looking forward to it. We're really looking forward to it. Bonnie's looking forward to it, but they are 74 and 75 respectively. And
Respectively, you didn't say which was which.
well, we're going for my mum's 75th birthday. My dad has just turned 74.
Is he younger than your mum?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Interesting.
interesting.
Um,
You always think it's the other way around, don't you? You just assume it's the other way around.
you do.
You got these bias, haven't you?
Yeah.
But Toy Boy.
Indeed. So, but the challenge is I have to go around their house and sign them up to my Disney experience and download the My Disney Experience app, get their tickets on the app, and then explain to them how to use the app.
Now, your parents are quite tech savvy.
I would give them a 6 out of 10
Yeah,
for their
but
age.
My dad's had to come to my house 3 times this week for me to fill out a form for my mum's new job, and things like not being able to log in and saying things like, oh, it says that the website disappears after 2 days. It's like, what do you mean? It meant the link expired after 48 hours or whatever, but he was going, the website disappears. You know, so he doesn't understand basic terms. So he won't have a clue. Your parents are more prepared. But having said that, even people who are on the,
People our age
if you go to
it.
Disney World for the first time, you've got to do some homework. It's bonkers. You have to watch videos. You can't just rock up. You can't just go to the airport and get in a plane and go, oh, let's go to Disneyland today. You need to know what you're doing, which is crazy, isn't it?
So, I mean, another thing is, like, obviously we're providing the hotel, and then they were paying for everything else, and I started to feel quite bad about how much it was costing them. So I'm trying to cushion the blow a bit, like by helping them out with the tickets and things. But I think it's worth it for my stress levels to buy them magic bands, because if they have to log into their phone every time they need to do go through the ticket machines.
Your mum likes the idea. Your dad, when he heard the price, which was like 25 quid, he went, oof.
Oh, we don't need that. I think we'll buy them as gifts, to be honest.
You do enough on your phone, and a phone's an expensive bit of kit, that the less I can be taking my phone out to do things, the better. I don't want to pay on it. I don't want to check into the parks with it. I'll buy we've already got them, haven't we? But we can reuse magic bands. I think it's worth it for that.
Crabbit Scruff's wife, Joanne Shields. Oh, I didn't know you were married. Oh, that's lovely.
Do you know? I think we probably were told that at some point. But I've been thinking, there's two people there at the same time. Well, they should be, because they're together.
He's 4.5 years older than him. So boo boo.
Scruffs.
I'm sorry. We do. It might. We never checked your pronouns.
I don't
Crabbit
know.
Scruffs. I'm sorry, that might be wrong.
I don't know who I'm more proud of.
Yeah.
Out of the two of you.
So yeah, well done, you two. Well done. But yeah,
we're being weird.
I just think it's. I want them to enjoy it as much as possible, but I also want to minimize the the child helping the parent duties that we will have to do, and I just think magic bands are the way forward. I will manage the account, because you can link everyone, so I will book all the restaurants for them, and I will buy them magic bands, and then I think that jumps over a lot of barriers to fun, doesn't it, that way? Yeah,
it does. So they're only going for half the trip.
Yeah, they're going for 6 days, 6 nights.
Yeah, and they're not that mobile, so they're not going to be charging in the park. So they're going more for the resorts and things like that, aren't they?
Me and Bonnie are writing them a little tip book for a Christmas present, and it's going to be like, go and sit in the Grand Floridian lobby and listen to the pianist for a couple of hours. And honest to God, they'll love that. You know what I mean? And then we'll get on the monorail and meet them. They're not going to be following us around the parks, because we go at like clappers, don't we? I mean, they will do for a bit. We'll be together for a bit, but then they'll want to go and sit down, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you had a Magic Band Plus but lost it, and the last day and it slipped off, gutted.
Dunn family.
Now, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Who was that with the Magic Band Plus? Dunn family, is it worth getting the Plus? Because it's like $20 more, isn't it? And all it does is flash when you go near a statue. Do you think the Magic Band Plus is worth it? Or is it a novelty?
Are there extra things you can do around the park with it? Extra buttons you can activate?
You see that with the 50th, that's what it is. That you can go to all those golden statues and interact with them. And then at firework time, the flashing time with the music. But I'm not sure that doesn't enhance my actual trip. That's like, a novelty thing. So I don't think we'll bother with the Plus. Somebody give me advice on that. Right, it's 2:30. Shall we say bye-bye?
Yeah.
Oh, real name Jaden Shields. Sorry, Crabbit Scruffs. We'll try and remember that. Crabbit Scruffs.
No, I like Crabbit Scruffs.
All right then.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's a gimmick. I will be buying another one. My one was a Baby Yoda one. Okay, so if you would buy another one, then maybe it is worth it. I will keep looking into it. That's an image I will never get out of my mind.
Yeah, we won't even tell the listeners what that is. It's the two crochet, Anna and Elsa, riding the oddly shaped gourd like a boat.
We're still, people are saying, oh, they like the magic band, but after the price increase, we're still on our original magic bands. We didn't buy new ones last time, and we'll try and keep those until the batteries run out. I don't think we'll be buying new ones.
Yeah, because we heard it was like, was it 3 years or something? But I've already been going for 3 years, and then a cast member said, well, I've heard of people that have been going for 8 years.
Yeah, and they were basically going, no, you're fine, just keep that one, because I thought we'd have to buy new ones. But I'll buy 2 for my parents, I think.
Hi, Caitlin. Goodbye, Kiva, who seems to be going. But we're going to go too, aren't we?
Yeah, we just said, yeah.
We're going to go.
So, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I've been Lucy, this has been Hugh, that's been Elsa and Anna, and these have been the Goods. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Now there's going to be an awkward bit where we're turning it off. Bye, everybody. And there's a bit where I'm going to go, oh, is it off yet? Is it off yet? And then there's a bit that'll keep going on. Even though I think I've pressed it, but we're still talking. And it'll go on for like an interminably long time. And it'll just get awkward for everybody. Really awkward. And then eventually we'll just disappear. We'll eventually just go away. And it will